Two young people arrested in Edmonton after fire ravaged a school. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. It's a devastating day in the First Nation of Edmonton.
A major fire has destroyed the community's only school, leaving nearly 300 children without a place to learn. The blaze broke out at around 7 o'clock this morning, and two teenagers have been charged with arson. Naps police received the call early Thursday morning. When police arrived on scene, they found the John C. Yes-No Education Center engulfed in flames. The blaze eventually spread across the whole school. Local firefighters worked to try to get the fire under control and save what they could. But the fire left the school completely destroyed. Chief Sol at Lucan issued a statement following an emergency meeting, saying they will work together with the task force to, quote, address immediate, short-term and long-term needs, including plans for continuing education in the interim for the 299 students at the school. Edmonton is located in the Kiiwetinoong riding, and MPP Sol Mamakwa expressed his condolences to the community.
The school fire, the devastating school fire it's a very difficult loss for Yapmatung First Nation, especially to the students, the staff, community members, parents, and the leadership. And I'm sure it's a very emotional thing to watch your school burn down.
Naps arrested two suspects following the fire. A 17-year-old and a 14-year-old are in custody. This isn't the first arson fire that has left the community scrambling. Back on July 5th, two boys, aged 13 and 14, were charged with arson in connection with a fire that damaged the water treatment plant in Edmonton. That incident prompted a state of emergency, and hundreds of people had to be evacuated to Thunder Bay due to the impact on the water supply. The effort to control this latest fire was hampered by the fact that two wildfire rapid attack trucks, which were donated to the community, have not yet made it to Edmonton because the winter road wasn't ready to open yet.
I'm sure that they felt very helpless when you don't have the capacity when you do not have the capacity to fight it, right?
The Ministry of Labour is investigating a workplace fatality yesterday morning at the Resolute Sawmill on Fort William First Nation. The victim is believed to be a man in his late 50s who was an employee with a Resolute subcontractor, DeLand Forestry. The worker was fatally injured by a log loader in one of Resolute's storage yards. A ministry inspector attended the scene and one order has been issued to DeLand. The ministry won't provide further information as the investigation continues. Resolute Vice President Louis Bouchard says all of their thoughts are with the victim's family and loved ones. Support measures have been deployed for those affected by the tragic event to help them deal with this difficult time. Bouchard adds that Resolute fully supports its contractor and the relevant authorities in their investigation.
OPP are investigating a fatal collision last night on Highway 17 in Upsala Township. The crash involved a transport and a passenger van, which occurred around 11 p.m. The driver of the van, a 60-year-old Thunder Bay resident, was pronounced dead at the scene. Two passengers in the van were also hurt and sent to hospital. Highway 17 was closed for about 8 hours, but has since reopened.
MPP Kevin Holland was at the Thunder Bay Regional Hospital today to announce nearly $2 million in funding to expand pediatric services.
The investment is meant to ensure children and youth have access to high quality and convenient care closer to home. Josh Morano reports.
The province-wide investment of $330 million was made last summer by the Ford government, granting support to all centres across Ontario. This announcement highlighted the local recipients, with $1 million going to the regional hospital, $850,000 to George Jeffrey Children's Centre, and $103,000 to Children's Centre Thunder Bay. MPP Kevin Holland says the money will play a crucial role in enhancing pediatric services in Thunder Bay.
The allocated funding is designed to empower and strengthen these organizations, enabling them to increase their capacity in delivering a wider range of programs and services funded by both the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services.
A new specialized newborn transport team of healthcare professionals at the hospital is already in the works, with the funding to serve remote communities to ensure medically safe transfers for children needing critical care. They will continue to work alongside Orange, the province's air ambulance service, which will continue to transport patients to the Northwest, with a new team set to begin in the summer.
We have purchased specialized equipment which we have on site and they'll be trained on, and so we will be able to provide a faster response time. For example, right now if a premature infant is born, for example, in Dryden, a team would have had to fly from London to pick up that patient, as opposed to ourselves here. We will be able to respond to that baby faster.
The donations to the two children's centers will increase access to rehabilitation services, including speech-language pathology, physiotherapy, and occupational therapy. Children's Center Thunder Bay CEO Diane Walker says in addition to that, they will have the ability to support pediatric mental health and addictions, giving them the resources to go to areas where children may need it most.
They're way less likely to come for service, but when a counselor or a helper or a peer supporter is there, they're more likely to come and talk to that adult, that caring adult. So that's how we see ourselves reducing wait lists and intervening earlier.
The plan is to reduce wait lists across northwestern Ontario, giving children and their families quicker recovery and a better quality of life. Josh Morano, TBT News.
Members of CUPE Local 87 have voted in favor of a new 4-year contract. Around 600 City of Thunder Bay workers were prepared to go on strike in February before a deal was reached on Friday with the help of a conciliator. CUPE members voted 81% in support of the deal yesterday. The union represents city staff in areas like garbage collection, snow clearing, and outdoor rink maintenance. Now that it's been ratified, union president Derek Fournier says he's very satisfied with the terms of the contract and released some details this morning. The employees will get a 12.5% wage increase spread over 4 years. And because their previous deal expired at the end of 2022, the members will receive retroactive pay, covering all of last year. The new contract will expire at the end of 2026.
Some members of Thunder Bay City Council are feeling optimistic after they got a chance to raise local priorities with provincial leaders this week. The local delegation at the Rural Ontario Municipal Association Conference included Mayor Ken Boschkoff and councillors Kristen Oliver, Shelby Chung, and Casey Atrani. The delegates had meetings with Finance Minister Peter Bethlenfalvy and Deputy Premier Sylvia Jones, among others. Oliver chairs the city's Intergovernmental Affairs Committee. She says they spoke to the ministers about re-establishing a forensic pathology lab and building more homes. One of the most positive meetings, she says, was with Infrastructure Minister Kinga Surma about the Lakehead Psychiatric Hospital property.
It was great to hear that the minister and her staff have toured the facility, so they have a fulsome understanding of its current condition, but better yet, the opportunities that are available with that building and that property. Recognizing there are developers that are interested in it, and it's a beautiful piece of property that would certainly help with urban infill and provide that opportunity further for us to meet our housing targets.
2 people have been charged in connection to a major drug seizure in Fort Frances. Rainy River OPP and Treaty 3 police seized more than $500,000 worth of cash and drugs, including fentanyl, oxycodone, morphine, and cocaine, from an Osborne Street home yesterday evening. A 30-year-old from East York and a 33-year-old from Fort Frances have been arrested and were scheduled in court today.
After nearly 3 years of planning and construction, the Blueprints multi-purpose music and TV studio celebrated its grand opening today. President Jean-Paul DeRover hosted the event to thank everyone involved in creating the first studio of its kind in Thunder Bay. The 4,000 square foot post-production facility on Tungsten Street was packed this morning with DeRover's family, friends, and project funders. He thanked everyone for believing in his vision and supporting the facility however they could. He expects Blueprints will be very busy in the years ahead, with many exciting projects already in the works for 2024. DeRover and acting mayor Rajni Agarwal had a few words to sum up the potential of the top-notch facility.
It's a relief to finally acknowledge the funders, the collaborators, all the people that helped support this project, and to officially announce that we're officially open. We have quite a few projects lined up for the rest of the year. There's always room for more, but we unfortunately we can't actually talk about them because there's NDAs involved and stuff like that, but that makes it that much more exciting.
We can bring the world to Thunder Bay and they can do sound productions here for videos or TV or whatever around the world, around the country. This is opening a door that we don't have anything of this caliber.
Blueprints will host an open house tomorrow from 1 to 9 for anyone interested in checking it out.
It's almost time for area snowmobilers to gear up and head south of the border for the 19th annual Snow-A-Rama in support of Easter seals. But with the winter season that's been light on snow so far, organizers in Minnesota admit that they were a bit nervous about the trail conditions.
We're still up in the air on how our trails are going to turn out. If we get rain, it's going to be pretty mushy. So, but we'll get out and get the trails marked and signed, and we'll have a bonfire, and nothing will change. Just we won't be able to ride as hard as much as we used to be able to.
The fundraising event is scheduled for February 10th at Grand Portage Lodge and Casino. Snowmobilers need to raise at least $100 in pledges, which will be directed to Easter Seal Kids. The charity helps kids with physical disabilities get much-needed equipment and provides summer camp opportunities. Ambassador Emily Pike knows firsthand how much the donations help.
We're helping kids like me with disabilities succeed in what they want to do in life. They've helped me with my grab bars for the bathroom and summer camp, summer camp a lot because I have a really hard time getting around hard places and it was really easy for me and also really fun.
Registration info can be found online at snowrama.org.
And hopefully they get the kind of weather that you need to support an event like that. Haley, I understand, they're kind of dealing with the same conditions that we are here, things melting a little bit and getting pretty mushy.
Exactly, yes. When you think Snow-A-Rama, you're hoping for snow. And we did see periods of light snow today, but it wasn't very continuous throughout the day, and it was quite warm today, which led to that snow melting very quickly. We had a high of 2 degrees today, which we reached at 3 o'clock. And our coldest period of the day wasn't very cold either, and it was before dawn, really. At 5 a.m., we saw a low of -2, with the wind chill hardly being a factor at all. As we look into our region currently, we could see Red Lake is seeing light snow showers, and they've been at a steady -3 all throughout the day. Similar with Kenora, they're experiencing some freezing drizzle, and Dryden right now is seeing some light snow. Fort Frances is at 0 and partly cloudy skies. And we see 0 in Atikokan and Nipigon as well. And then moving over to Greenstone, they saw light snow earlier in the day, but now it's more cloud coverage than anything else. And in Marathon, they have fog, light drizzle in Wawa. And then as we look over to Sault Ste. Marie, they are having a misty day, and they're at 1 degree currently. As we look into our evening in Thunder Bay, this graphic gives a great depiction of what we may be seeing because there's that rain and snow. With the 30% chance of flurries or drizzle, it's hard to predict what we're going to get when the temperatures are warmer like we've been seeing. Our low is expected to be -1 tonight, feeling like -3 with the wind chill. And those drizzles may turn into freezing drizzles overnight, and we may even see fog patches developing. So a lot of moisture in the air. It's that wet kind of cold that's not really very cold for this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely, Haley. We are not used to seeing temperatures like this in, getting toward the end of January now. That rain on the graphic, not too often that you see that. Thanks a lot. Well, turning our attention to national politics now, the Prime Minister gave an impassioned speech today to launch a 3-day Liberal caucus retreat. It comes, though, as there are questions coming from inside his own party about his leadership. We'll have details on that and more when your Thursday News Hour continues.
Should there be a review? Maybe we should have a discussion on that.